Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. We are back again, and we are tired. Today, or I just finished, I'm wearing the t-shirt, got the wristband, the annual Opolis Walk for Freedom for Juneteenth. And boy, I tell you, I remember being in high school and being in track and doing 2 to 5 miles every day. Every day, running. This was a 2.5 mile walk. And I can tell you, it does not feel the same. I'm telling you, my feet, my legs, they're telling me, hey, you're not in high school anymore. Anyway, it was a good time. A lot of candidates were there. Senators, Congress, people running for Congress, local elections. It was a who's who of VIPs. Everybody that is somebody was there. And I want to bring that to attention, and I want to thank all the candidates that were out there. I should have taken pictures, but I'm not much of a... Well, anyway, that's beside the point. So, something that I wanted to discuss, and you guys have heard me say it before, and you'll hear me say it again, when I say how important it is to go out and vote. And it's because while during the walk, there were a lot of people that we were talking to. A lot of people had questions for some of the candidates, and you got the high level, statewide candidates that are, running for Senate or a Senate seat or a congressional district, and then a lot of local candidates, whether it was city council members, countywide positions, things like that. And I want to stress, I want to be very careful how I say this. Yes, it is important to vote for your statewide candidates. And in my opinion, it is just as important, and sometimes even more important, to vote for your local candidates. And here's why, okay? And I'm going to give you an example, and you just follow me here with this example that I give you, okay? You have laws and you have policies. And I know some of you have heard me. This is really for people that have not heard me say it before. You have laws and you have policies. And let's take, for example, if there is a homicide, manslaughter, whatever, by law, that is something that should be investigated because someone needs to be held accountable or responsible, right? That's a law. You want to investigate if there is a crime. Now, we've had a lot of, deaths that have happened in the Tarrant County Jail. So you would think by law, the district attorney, the judges, the county judges and commissioners, they would want to investigate why all these deaths are happening in Tarrant County. So here's where policy comes in. Because if the sheriff says, hey, we have someone that has had an accident at Tarrant County and we need an ambulance to take them to the county hospital. Now, if that person is pronounced deceased when they get to the county hospital, they don't have to investigate that any further. That's policy. Because they say, oh, that person, they were pronounced, DOA at the hospital. That's got nothing to do with what happened in the jail. They didn't pass away until they made it to the hospital or until they were in the ambulance. However that goes. Now, you would think, hold on, how does that make sense? How is that possible? Well, this is where I'm telling you policy. If the people that are in office now, the sheriff, the county judge, the district attorney, if they're all on the same page and they say, oh, you know what, Sheriff, you're right. We don't have to investigate that because it was DOA at the hospital. That's not the county problem. It's not, nobody at the county is responsible because they were pronounced DOA at the hospital. Does that make sense? Because that's what's happening. which is why you have to vote these people out that are in office now, because they're all in cahoots. They're all on the same page. Okay, that's just one example. Let's say something like schools. By law, X amount of dollars comes to schools. Well, if the people that are on the school board or the people that are at city council for whatever city, if they decide, well, we've got this money, but our policy says we spend it this way. We don't have to give 100% to your schools. We can give 10% to your schools and the other 90% to whatever we want. That's why getting your local elections is so important. Because not only will they follow the law, but their policies will be, it'll make sense. Okay? So that's just my PSA for today. Don't forget your local elections and your locally elected officials. They're just as important as your statewide candidates. Thank you for watching my video, and you guys have a good afternoon.